now for something completely different.
Forget everything you've been told by others before. Get ready for the real deal. The full story. Real talk about money, markets, life. Now, it's The Real Investment Show, presented by RIA Advisors.
And good morning. Welcome to the Financial Fitness Podcast. I'm Rich Rosso here with the Jonathan McCarty.
How are you, sir?
So we're going to talk about open enrollment today because it's very, very important. You as an employee are probably taking your benefits package for granted. And we want to go through that. But before you do that, I wanted everyone to know that Brett Clanton's retirement is in jeopardy. Because the penny will be no more. 300 billion coins in circulation. Pennies. So they're not going away anytime soon. But you're just sitting there with a jar of pennies. Like everybody's got a jar.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do with them?
A Coinstar.
These Coinstars will take
I'm a
them.
Coinstar guy.
Yeah, I'm a Coinstar guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever stay at that machine for like a guy will do at a stall, like an urinal? Like, yeah. Like, how long is it going to take me to get all these damn coins?
Well, Rich, I don't know about you, but I'm not a guy who likes to hang out at the urinal.
I know. No, but I'm just saying, it's like, but Coinstar is like the metal urinal, right?
It is.
So it's like, you're like,
clank, 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 clank.
And everybody's like, what the hell? Like all that noise. And you're there like 20 minutes and someone's going to rob you on the way out of Kroger's.
Obnoxiously loud, yes. Yeah.
I have a theory about pennies. Why they're going away.
Go ahead.
Because a penny for your thoughts today seems like much too high a price to pay.
Some of the thoughts
in
that
the way
we're getting,
society is today.
Yeah, I'm the guy who brings the Alhambra 5-gallon water jug full of change.
And listen, man, I do that too. I've got them everywhere.
Yeah, where you can barely lift the thing to get it in there. Yep.
And I try to make it as loud as possible in the tray.
Yep.
I'm disrupting the entire store because it sounds like a bomb going off at them. Bomb going off at the machines. I am.
And you're always right next to the registers, so you get those looks from everyone where you're just obnoxiously loud and they can't even talk to the
cashier.
cashier.
Baby, look how many quarters I got. I'm full of quarters, baby. Look at me. These convert to dollars.
Or gift card.
Listen, that was genius. The creation of those machines.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolute genius.
Yeah. I remember being younger, dating myself a bit, but we used to roll change.
No, we all
and
did.
take them to the bank.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm
And,
surprised
the
you
little
even did
tubes,
that.
you pack them.
And it's like you stand there for hours. You got hours. You're packing those damn things.
And it was a game for us when we were kids. My brothers and I would race. How fast could we
Well,
pack
in
these
Brooklyn,
coins?
we used them as weapons. We would put them into socks and hit people with. So everybody's got a different use for rolled pennies.
I grew up in the era of In Living Color and Homie the Clown. So my brothers
Remember
and I,
Homie?
We used to beat each other with socks with baseballs in them because of that show. Thank you very much.
If you ever never seen Living Color, but there's no way that show can get remade today.
Not a chance. Yeah, not a chance.
Married with Children and Living Color, in Living Color, but in Living Color, man, I would roll.
Yeah. Fire Marshal Bill?
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, classic.
Homie the Clown.
Yeah, Homie the Clown.
And you remember when Jim
Homie, don't play
Carrey did
that.
the whole like Muslim thing? He was like the singer, and you just couldn't.
Not a chance.
But Homie would come out with the pea jar.
Mm-hmm.
That would crack me up, and the pickles in it. Like, I am
good
telling you,
television,
that
guys.
show
Yeah.
was genius, absolute genius. So pennies are going away, but again, it's going to take a while. Since Canada did away with theirs, and, Canada's revolutionary, so we got to follow them down into the toilet. Let's flush. So it just shows you over time. Like, you probably don't even need the nickel.
Probably not. Yeah.
Because it probably still costs more than 5 cents to produce it.
Yeah. I would imagine.
So, but the penny is nearly as old as America itself. And America's not looking too good, and neither is the penny. So, sorry, penny. Sorry, Brent's retirement plan. Saving. Remember those people crying because they got those jars buried in the backyard? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Folgers can.
Yeah. So listen, you're in this enrollment season, and I want to tell you. First of all, go a little bit of an ADP study we're going to go over. But the one thing I will say, most people don't give it a second thought. If they've been with a company for many years, they just go, and they check off the same old stuff, or they keep their benefits, and they don't look at it with new eyes.
Yep.
You have to look at your benefits package every year as if it's the first time you've ever seen it and you're a new employee. I really do believe that, because I think people get way too complacent, or they think about that they don't need certain things because, oh, wow, why do I need life insurance? Why do I need disability insurance? Why do I need this? And with changes in healthcare and high deductible plans and so forth, just keep in mind that you're going to need to do that. So the studies that have been done show that, listen, it's a genuine care for your workforce to have these benefits. There are studies that show that employees are 17% more engaged, more loyal, more productive if they have benefits. Matter of fact, I can't even imagine, unless you're working for a very, very, very small company or whatever job you have, that you don't have some form. I mean, there are people who work mostly for the benefits, right? I can't leave because of my healthcare benefits. I can't do this because I've got this benefit, right?
Correct.
So the recent study that was conducted by ADP, following employee benefits trends: 1, interest in retirement savings plans have increased. Health care options are forcing difficult decisions. Employees want benefits to be personalized. I think that's a big challenge. And confidence in benefits decision making is growing. The problem is I worry about is overconfidence.
Well, and now
Like,
everyone's
just like with anything else.
Yeah, everyone's an internet investigator, right? So they did their own research.
Right. They did their own research. Or they don't think they're going to die or become disabled, right? So there are a lot of things. Obviously, there's more investment options that people see in their plan. Auto enrollment actually has been very, you have to opt out, but having some form of minimum as far as contribution does help. But also, as I've said before many times, and I'll be dead by then, but Jonathan will say, you're right, we have a nutritionist on staff, a financial wellness program, and online tools. So these are things, but the hardest choice, I think, and I think where people probably spend most of the time is healthcare benefits, medical expense.
I would agree.
So when they surveyed people, ADP, it said only a slight majority, 53%, prefer to have less money deducted from their paycheck and pay more at the time of care. The rest prefer to have more deducted from their paycheck and pay less at the time of care. So there's preferences that everybody has. One of the preferences that you'll see, so a lot of people will come to us or look at their benefits package and go, well, this is a small premium, it's pretty good. But more and more companies are offering high deductible.
Yes, so that the HSA is an option.
And so you have to think about, I think you need to go into a benefits enrollment understanding your own budget at home.
Yes. I think that's a pitfall of many households here in the United States. And, not as many, even, and I'm sure you see it in your own client base, not as many clients as we would like maintain a budget at home. Everyone sometimes has a running total of some kind, with what their budget is.
Yes, you do that.
Yeah.
But not a formal kind of
but
written
on
plan.
paper, whether that's a spreadsheet or you're using budgeting tool software, something of that nature.
Right.
But and it's absolutely common. I mean, my own parents are guilty of the same thing. I'm a financial advisor, and I cannot get my parents to sit down and create a budget with me to save my life. But they have a running total in their head,
Who's
and it works for them.
Snotty kid that we changed his diaper? He's telling us to keep a budget.
Yeah, I'm still a little John. So,
That's what I'm saying.
Trying to get advice into my parents is a challenge sometimes.
Now that you have your own son, you'll understand this better.
I probably will.
I remember when you peed out so much, we had to change the linen all the time. And you're telling me?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I don't think I'll ever outgrow the diapers in their eyes.
Well, that's the way it is. That's just the diapers in their eyes. I think that was a song in the 80s. So that medical decision, if you are, and I think you got to look at your own triggers for this. Mm-hmm. One, you keep a budget. You have a relatively healthy family. you're financially sort of savvy. You probably are going for a high deductible plan with HSA, and you're probably going to try to max out your HSA
Correct.
contributions, which are pre-tax and will be tax-free for the qualified expenses. And you are probably, and not everybody's going to do this, do their best to not touch that HSA money. So
Yeah.
they're going to treat it almost like a healthcare retirement account. So the smartest people, and I think it's better, and I don't mean better from a lifestyle and how you feel about things. I think it's better when sometimes you don't have children and you start that building that HSA, because children just have to go to the doctor more.
They do.
And you're going to have a stash of money. So what I notice is most people with families are going to veer away from the high deductible plan. And I don't know if that's proper. That goes back to knowing your budget, sitting with your advisor and saying, you do have the ability to do this if you want to.
Well, in a lot of these plans now, especially even the high deductible plans, preventative care doesn't cost you anything. So, if you're
right.
If you're careful in looking at this, even if you do have children and they're going to the doctor regularly, most of these visits are planned, scheduled preventative care. So some of that may fall under the fully covered portion of your plan.
Which tells you why you need to investigate your benefits package, because you still might find it suitable.
Correct. And then
because of what's thrown in, the bells and whistles that you're not digging into, that will allow you to do exactly what you say. Hey, well, this visit's going to actually be covered, and I don't have to touch the funds in my health savings account.
And that's
great.
a common pitfall is individuals tapping that HSA while they're still younger and working. You make a great point, Rich, that it's much better to let those funds grow and compound and then save those for later in life. While you're still working, you have that disposable income where you can make up those costs.
It's a health savings account, not a health spending account. Okay? Just remember that. So that's a very good point. You have to have the open mind and not go for the cheapest option, or options that are going to allow you to save more money. You absorb some of the risk, granted, with the higher deductible. But like you said, a lot of visits are being covered. Not only that, your company is probably offering you some form of incentive, some form of match, which is tough to turn down. That is also free money.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. So you can put it into Bitcoin when it goes below 90.
Not yet.
So,
Not yet.
Gotta wait. So what I'm saying, and you're right, most people want this medical benefit. This is one of the most popular benefits, but you might be doing it all wrong by selecting the gold choice or whatever it is that looks great because your premium is very low, but there's no savings element to it. And people don't really understand the difference between a flexible spending account and a health savings account. They try to keep them, they think of them both as the same thing, and they are very, very different.
Very big difference, yes.
So when you do the health savings account and you're putting money away and your company's matching and you can allocate that money among a group of, create your asset allocation, you don't have to touch it. Yeah, in fact, we always say, like we said, you shouldn't.
Yeah, and I fell into that pitfall myself, Rich. Early in my career when I started, I didn't know as much about employer benefits, and I signed up for an FSA rather than the HSA. And then I found out at the end of the year, because I was a young 20-year-old who never went to the doctor, the funds that I had deferred into my FSA went away at the end of the year because I did not spend them. I was not happy about that.
No. If you have, and this is another point, you may have an FSA instead of an HSA, you have to then... You really do need to know your budget.
Oh, yeah.
You need to know. Like, you don't want to be like at the end of the period and like, I'm going to stock up on Band-Aids. I got a whole closet of Band-Aids. No. So you have to look at, okay, I have this much for vision. And actually there are a lot more costs that are falling into this group where they are HSA or FSA deductible. But you don't want to overfund it. You want to underfund if possible. You want to spend all that money. That FSA is designed to be spent. Now, you might get a grace period for a period of time at the end of the year.
Or a small rollover.
Right. But that money has to be, for the most part, spent.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at my ophthalmologist telling him, are you sure I don't need glasses? Because, I've got like $2,000 I need to spend.
Yeah.
So.
I'll just get an extra pair.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm going to need it one day.
Got some really cool sunglasses. So obviously, group health insurance is the most in-demand benefit according to ADP. 82% of employees rank it the most important benefit, and 93% rank it in the top three.
I think that's definitely going to change with the changes that just came with the government shutdown bill that passed and the end of ACA subsidies. So I bet that 82% is going to increase in the next year.
Are you talking about the people that don't even know they're on it? I'm like kidding. That is always and will continue to be the most important benefit. Listen, even people who are ready to retire have a real dilemma. So we thought when ACA came out, sort of knew that everything that they were spouting about it was an absolute lie. And the speechwriter and the people who designed it will now tell you it was. We were hoping there would be a bridge of insurance for someone that, say, wanted to retire at age 62 and then maybe would have affordable insurance as a bridge to Medicare. And I don't know if it was the same when you went to see it with CFP, but when I went, it was like COBRA was a 4-letter word as far as benefit. Mm-hmm. COBRA premiums, well over 100% of normal premium, right? You never did that. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
Then when ACA came out, I started to look at the comparison and realize COBRA was cheaper.
In most cases, yeah.
But we were always told a tenet in financial planning and in finance was you never, ever go to COBRA. You go to insurance somewhere else. That's not the case. So we don't have that bridge anymore. So working and having these benefits are very important until you bridge over.
That's right.
So that definitely works.
What's especially important for individuals who are considering retiring early. If you're considering retiring before you hit age 65, that's an expense you're going to want to plan for. Whether you are utilizing COBRA or going out in the private marketplace, that's probably going to be a big chunk of your budget on an annual basis.
Mm-hmm. The good thing about Medicare is it keeps it somewhat controllable. We can plan for it because we know the premiums. We understand the cost of living adjustments, the inflation adjustments. If you set the right policies, you have minimal out of pocket. Yeah, you'll have more premiums, but you want to be fully covered, just like you are as an employee. Next thing is retirement savings plans, right? So 401k retirement savings plans are surging in importance. 60% of employees ranking them in their top 3 most important benefits. So what's I find positive is more and more people are thinking about retirement.
Yeah.
But they are confused. One is, I'm only going to do up to the match. Maybe I don't do more. And that goes back to a financial hierarchy, right?
Yep.
So when someone is in this space of trying to select the type of retirement savings plan that they want, I'm always like, well, first, depending on what you're making and where you are in your career, I'm looking at a Roth option. And that still is a challenge. People don't understand. Well, no, I was told pre-tax. And I've got to turn them and say no. Especially 20, 30-somethings. We're going Roth.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So Roth, well, I can't contribute to a Roth IRA. I might phase out. This is not a Roth 401k is the cousin to traditional.
Yep.
So don't worry about that. So helping someone, one, select the right retirement vehicle. I think that's even more important than the investments. Understanding their match. Can they do more than their match? That always comes down to me is where are you everywhere else?
Yes.
Where do you fall in the financial hierarchy of do you have an emergency reserve? So someone came to me the other day and said, well, if I do Roth, it's almost like a checking account. Like that's my emergency reserve. And then he showed me an article. This is what the financial industry has been talking about. This financial industry and a lot of advisors are using Roth as a pseudo emergency reserve
as a
for
piggy bank.
I'm like, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's a mental lockbox. You don't touch it. If I don't have 3 to 6 months or maybe a year as a financial vulnerability cushion in an emergency reserve, I may just have that younger person do up to the match.
Yep.
Until that is funded, and then I will increase it.
Yeah.
right? So helping someone make the right decision, Roth, traditional, is more important to me than what's your mix of allocation.
Well, it's also overcoming that challenge of, delayed gratification, right? People tend to gravitate to the pre-tax IRA because they think in terms of, I'll take home more money.
Right. I'll take home more money. And listen, you know what? This is the cool part. Think of it as a cycle, your employment cycle. I start off with Roth. I build up. I'm not making as much. Then I'll have my higher earning years. And if I want to fund pre-tax, God bless you.
That's right.
Fund it. You're going and working through diversification of accounts. But if you start early with Roth and end up in your peak retirement years, peak earning years in pre-tax, that is okay. We're not saying pre-tax is bad. It's a formula on how you get to where you're going. So where you are in enrollment is also where you are in your career.
That's right.
But a lot of these individuals, a lot of employees still get the advice, pre-tax good, right? Good, pre-tax good, all pre-tax. But man, once I get younger people on that Roth bandwagon and they see the light, they are aggressively big Roth fans.
Yeah,
because they're understanding the power of that. This money might be sitting in this Roth for 30 years
or more.
Right.
Yeah.
And will grow completely tax-free.
Yep.
So I'm thankful for that. Mental health coverage, we absolutely need that here, and we don't have it. So there is a societal trend of prioritizing mental health with programs, and more employees, especially I guess if you're living in New York, this is probably the most important thing. You're looking for some sort of mental health benefits. Now, we do have, personally, I don't consider this a big thing, but it is important to your lifestyle for many people that may want somebody to talk to or get guidance. You've got to offer it because that's what your workforce wants.
Especially younger generations. I mean, there's a huge push in Gen Z and younger millennials. I guess I just came from a different upbringing, but mental health wasn't something that was ever, you you just got out there and worked. But these younger generations are very, very concerned about their mental health and will call out sick just because mentally they don't feel like coming to work today. I couldn't imagine telling you that, Rich, if I had to call out sick one. Rich, I just don't feel like working today. I'm just going to take a mental health day.
But it is an issue. It's you know what? We can mock it, but it's something we have to deal with.
Yes.
Something that companies need to face this reality of we are going to have some people that are going to need this service.
And it's not going away.
Yeah. We're getting more mentally ill as the days go by. So that might be the biggest benefit in the next 10 years.
I think so.
So very important, they have employee assistance programs, some companies free of charge to the workforce members. So listen, you have to offer it. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to take it, but this is what is considered popular, right? Then we've got dental and vision. 63% of employees rank dental insurance as a top 3 benefit. 31% rank vision as a top 3 benefit. So I would say most programs or plans offer dental and vision insurance. It's usually pretty cheap. You also have to realize that maybe the benefit is not so great. Oh, I'm going to get my full, Tony Roma glasses with the, golden signets and whatever. I'm going to look like Elton John. Okay, well, we're not going to pay for that. You're going to get up to a certain amount off your frame. But it's something.
You better think Warby Parker instead.
Yeah, you better go Warby.
Yeah.
Go Warby or Coke glasses. Bottoms of Coke bottles. So you have to look at that probably for the cost is pretty decent benefit.
Yeah.
But you're not going to throw a party over it. But that's important. So these trends are really important. 82% of employees ranking medical insurance their most important benefit. 63% of employees ranking dental insurance in their top 3 most important benefits. 60% of employees ranking retirement savings plans in their top 3. These are technically the DNA So let's stick with those because all the rest of the stuff is peripheral and it could be important to you and you should look at it. But these are the DNA or the core of your benefits. So if I'm going to like medical insurance, oh my gosh, yes, Rich, my family, it's very important. I'm just going to go with what I did last year.
Set it and forget it.
No, let's see what's being offered.
Mm-hmm.
People just blindly go over and go, I'm just keeping what I had.
Yeah.
Well, what else is available? If I have an employer that's going to give me money to have a high deductible plan, and I call my wife or we sit down and or my significant other and we call, well, how many times did the kids go to the doctor? How many times did we go to the doctor? Could we do this? Do we have enough in our emergency reserve? Look at it again, these packages with new eyes. You have to do that.
And a lot of these employer plans now are offering incentives for that type of healthy behavior.
Absolutely.
You can go in and get screenings. They call them wellness screenings, right? Get some screenings done. You'll get additional funds deposited into your HSA account by your employer. I mean, it's a great benefit.
It is. A lot of these plans are pushing the preventative, and I think that that's very positive. Although when I moved to Texas, and it was the same in New York, men don't like going to the doctor even for his physicals.
No, not at all. Yeah. I skipped about 3 years, and my wife finally put her foot down and said, I'm scheduling your appointment, and then called my doctor and scheduled my physical.
Listen, she doesn't mess around. This Mrs. McCarty
runs a tight ship. I've told you.
I cannot wait to meet. I have not met her, but I'm going to be like meeting Princess Grace. And it's because I'm scared. I'm scared of her and Mrs. Roberts.
That makes both of us.
Yeah. So. Yeah, Michelle's sort of scary. Michelle's nice. She's not as scary. Mrs. Roberts gives me that chill. Like she'll take me out in a minute. Like,
don't step out of line, Rich.
And you're blacked out. Where was I?
The Vulcan chop?
That's what. Yeah, we call that the Roberts chop, and it works really well.
Great for putting the kids to sleep.
So the point I made, this is very important time of year for you as an employee. The biggest message, the greatest message is don't be complacent. And again, look at it with new eyes. That's really, really important. I'm trying to think of what else. I see a lot of these lifestyle benefits being added, gym memberships and all that, but I think it's part of the trend to make employees more healthy.
I think so.
To lower costs, insurance costs for small businesses especially are through the roof.
Yeah, and I think another benefit that's gaining traction, popularity is that on-site facilities. When I was at JP Morgan, they had on-site clinics and wellness centers in the building. They also had a daycare for their employees. So if you were somebody who just got back from maternity leave and you were concerned about where you're going to find childcare, they offered a daycare facility in the building where you could show up and drop off your child, go to your office, work your full day, come back and pick up your child and go home. I mean, that's a huge benefit in my eyes.
They would have like Jamie Dimon dressed as the evil clown and scare all the kids.
He made a surprisingly effective Grinch.
He would run through all the kids going, recession's coming, recession! Does it come with milk and cookies, Mr. Diamond?
Yep.
No, kale and arsenic.
He would give them all presents of $1, but then turn around and only give them 95 cents because transaction cost, it's big banking.
But you are also saying that there are a lot of employee child care benefits programs that are available. So when you have children, you're also looking at that benefits package completely different. So let's go through the insurance or mitigation of risk parts. Like we understand the dental and all that, but disability coverage, I notice, especially a lot of younger people, they don't care about long-term disability coverage. Well, and I think that's absolutely crazy.
I think it's just people don't want to think about their own mortality. And that's common whether you're considering disability insurance or even long-term care insurance. But if you're driving here, your mortality
is at risk every minute. Like the Grim Reaper's right beside you in the passenger seat, right?
No,
and
exactly.
You're looking over to him and going, is it coming? And he's like,
Yeah. Especially when you're coming in at 5 a.m.
That's right. Right? You're getting all the drunks from 3 a.m.
That's right.
So you have a better chance of being disabled, even short-term, than dying.
Yeah.
So this is another no-brainer to me. max out your long-term disability. It's something like 66% of your gross income.
Well, I think that not only long-term disability, but to your point, Rich, short-term disability.
And a lot of companies already have that in there. That it's an extension of illness, days. But the point is, to your mind, right? You want to have the shorter term and long term. Short term, a lot of times your company will cover, but absolutely do not ignore the long term disability. I know, to your point, we don't want to think about it.
Yep. No one thinks it'll happen to them.
Right. But when you got the car on 610 with 3 wheels and a mattress cover for the 4th wheel, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, car fire season has just passed in Houston, right?
Yes.
So we have to look, you always have to look at the way things are. You could have a disability for a period of time.
Yep.
And you want to make sure you're covered. Well, I'm a single guy. Who cares? Well, what do you want to live in the street? You still want the max. And if you have a family, if you don't take the max, we're going to come and haunt you. So you have to look at that disability coverage. Very, very important.
Yeah,
the other ones, go ahead.
I don't know about your experience, but for me, it's oftentimes clients who have had personal experience that want to pursue these policies.
That is true. Or they have someone else that has gone through an event.
Right. Yeah. And I fall into that category. I did not have long-term disability insurance until my father was unfortunately hit by a drunk driver going down the freeway.
Oh my gosh.
And it was out of work for a number of years because of that. And that was
how many? He's out of work for a long time?
About 5 years. Yeah. Dang. Yeah. Multiple surgeries. Yeah. And had 2 of his vertebrae fused together. So yeah, he's
wow.
Yeah. He made a full recovery.
Sounds like he's lucky he lived.
He's a tough guy. Oh, he got hit by a semi. It was a drunk driver behind a semi. So, I mean, that's the risk that you face every time you get on the road.
Was it one of those drivers who couldn't read signs?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But no, I mean, that's a type of experience that stays with you. And
even
having
you
that
could be an
experience growing
18-wheel
up.
driver. You just go right in there and drive.
I hear there's a lot of openings now
Yeah,
because they canceled a number of CDLs back in California.
The point is, yes, it can happen.
Yes.
And you will be very happy you have coverage.
Yep. And through no fault of your own, it can happen. That's the other thing.
Now, there is also life insurance, and your company will probably give you a minimum amount for no charge.
Mm-hmm.
And a younger person with no kids will say to me or say to us, what do I need life insurance for?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Well, I typically say, do you want to be able to leave anything behind for your loved ones? Whether you have children or not, if you have siblings or parents and you're concerned about, right now, what is it, 60% of retirees are underfunded, right? So if you're one of those children whose parents maybe don't have enough set aside for retirement, that may also be an incentive for you. I thought about that a lot as growing up. What did I want to leave behind if something unexpectedly happened to me? And could I make a positive impact on my family's lives? And so I took out policies as a single guy fresh out of college.
Well, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into this in a minute. The other thing is, too, is you're going to be buried or you're going to be thrown on the side of the road. You know how much your funeral costs?
Just toss me into the ocean.
I know why, but your parents probably going to want a funeral.
Yes.
It would be nice if you paid for it.
It would be, yeah.
So
one more dig at the wallet as I'm on my way out, Mom and Dad. Sorry about that.
Darn kid. So life insurance, and obviously it's a no-brainer when you have children and you want to look at, obviously your company will say, okay, listen, if you want more than you want to increase insurance, you can work through the insurance company. And there'll be you'll probably have to provide some evidence of insurability depending on what times your salary you want. But you certainly could do that. But you'll bring up something I think very important. I think this is what you're bringing up. A lot of people will look at also having a life insurance policy outside of work.
Yes.
Because what happens if I get terminated?
You lose all those benefits and your medical insurance.
And if I'm not really that insurable, or say during the period of this, in other words, I want, especially when I have a family, I don't want all my life insurance coming from the company.
Correct. Well, it's also important to consider your ability to get approved for life insurance as you age, right? That's right. As a younger guy, I called my friend at Northwestern Mutual and said, hey, I'd like a life insurance policy. He came by and did a quick swab on my cheek, and that was it.
Right.
And I just did a new policy after having my son, and now that I'm closing in on 40, although I'm not going to say how close I'm getting, they sent me in for a full blood workup. They wanted my last 3 physicals from my doctor. I mean, it was a rigorous process. Yeah.
Well, with a kid, you're aging rapidly.
Yeah.
So your organs are drying up. So, but in another 5 years, your organs will be all desiccated. Like we'll blow on them and and they'll just float away.
Pretty sure my brain is shrinking too.
That's what I mean. So you absolutely do need to get the blood work done.
Yeah.
Because kids take how many years off your life?
I'll
I know
let
my
you know.
daughter through certain periods. I'm going to tell you. I think I've lost there goes a decade.
Yep.
Based on when she was a teenager, right? Especially we went through the emo stage. That was tough.
Oh man.
We've went through.
Yeah, she was a My Chemical Romance girl. Is that?
Just wait.
Oh yeah.
You got a nice, wholesome kid up until around 11. Then you come home and go, "Who's this?"
Yeah. My neighbor was just warning me about that. So
was it?
Our neighbors have a 12-year-old daughter, so just hitting the tweens.
Oh, man.
And every once in a while, we hear the meltdown next door. And, I'll be out walking the dogs, and she'll come out, and we always chit-chat. And she's like, I knew this day was coming, but I just
didn't want to
ready.
face it.
Yeah.
It just hit you like a wall.
It's hormones on legs.
Yeah.
And at 12 to 14, they know everything.
Oh, yeah. I was the smartest I've ever been in my life between the ages of 12 and 15.
And you did the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
When my girlfriend's son, who's a great kid, overall great kid, he's 14, mouths off sort of at her. I'm like, listen, and, she doesn't like the disrespect, and it's not right. But this is what 12 to 14-year-olds do because they know everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just par for the course. So you've got a lot of fun ahead of you.
I'm looking forward to it.
But you are in the really solid, cool years where you live your experience through your children's eyes. You take them to places like, remember we talked about going to the Texas festivals and the watermelon thumps. My daughter still wants to go to the watermelon thump, and it's really nothing. It's just that we have gone every year. Or Santa's Wonderland, we had gone every year since she's little. Things that we've done before she became the evil child. That you have a really beautiful honeymoon period of that.
Everything's brand new. I mean, that's it's awesome just watching my son learn about new experience. And right now we're just about to start introducing regular food.
You got him reading the National Review yet? Or?
I started him on the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, okay.
Because, you got to have that strong foundation.
The kid can already amortize bonds and compound interest.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
He's a heck of an options trader.
He's compounding, the diaper too. It's not holding up very well. The other thing is you will have childcare benefits programs, to your point. That could be very, very helpful. So I notice the way people look at their benefits package with new eyes is when they have children. That's the spark that goes, I got to look at this whole thing differently. And I can't be as complacent anymore. But you may not be having children, and you have to have that same attitude. Don't be complacent about that benefits package. Plus, your company is reading about what's trending or listening to their employees and adding benefits that you may not even know are there, but you want. And I will admit, a lot of companies do a really good job putting the benefits packages together. It's almost like you have to sell it or showcase it, like glossy folders, the education. So take advantage of it and go slow. Don't look at it as a chore. Look at it as how will it maximize what I bring in, because it's not just salary, to my family or just to me alone that I want to take advantage of.
Right, and it's becoming a more common way to attract and, more importantly, retain talent.
I think it's probably even more important than salary in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I mean, and that study that came out showed that 69% of individuals who are happy with their employer benefits are less likely to go and look for a new job.
I agree. So listen, if you need any assistance with an objective pair of eyes looking at these benefits package, or at least guiding you as to what should be important based on your family situation, you reach out to us at Real Investment Advice. We will help you look through it. No charge for that, or at least educate you. You know what I can't find? I wrote a whole guide on this.
Really?
I can't find it anywhere. We had it in a package at one point, all the steps you need to take when you look at your benefits enrollment. It disappears into the computer heavens.
Lost to the ether.
Somewhere it'll be gone. Also, check out Real Investment Advice. Sign up for Lance's newsletter. Lots of really great writings. Listen, we're talking about QE coming back. It's something I talked to a client about 3 weeks ago, and he laughed at me, and then all of a sudden we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Manipulation of the yield curve is hot, folks. It's in. It has been in since the Great Recession, so check out the writings there, and we'll see you next week. Thanks to Jonathan, always adding to the discussion, and we love you here at Financial Fitness. Take care.